Today we are going to talk about simplifying rational expressions. And it says to simplify an algebraic fraction means to reduce it to its lowest terms. This is done by dividing out the common factors in the numerator and the denominator. Now the first two examples are already done for us, and I'm just going to point some things out as I go along to explain it. For example, the first one we have the simplify x squared plus 2x over x squared minus 4. The first thing you need to do is you need to factor out the numerator and factor out the denominator. In the numerator we have a GCF of x, and we would be left with an x plus 2. In the denominator, it's a difference of two perfect squares, so it'll be x plus 2x minus 2. Once you factor it, you just see what's common between the numerator and the denominator, and it is an x plus 2. So you cross them out, and you're left with an x in the numerator and an x minus 2 in the denominator. So that is your final answer. For example 2, same idea, just a little bit more complicated, a little more factoring to do. So we have 8y cubed minus 16y squared in the numerator. The GCF is 8y squared. You'd be left again with a y minus 2. In the denominator, the first thing they did, they didn't show it, but the first thing they did was they took out a GCF of 2y. And when they did that, they were left with y squared minus y minus 2. From there, they further factored down y squared minus y minus 2 to y plus 1, y minus 2. So you can see their new denominator there. From there, they saw they had a y minus 2 common, so they crossed them out. They were left with 8y squared over 2y times y plus 1. They also saw that they had a 2 common in both the numerator and the denominator. 2 goes into 2 once, goes into 8 4 times. And they have a y squared in the numerator and y in the denominator. There's one y down there, can cross off with one of the y's in the numerator. So you're left with 4y over y plus 1, and that will be your final answer. One thing we're crossing off, I could not cross off, for example, let me point this out. I couldn't cross off this little y here and the y plus 1 with the y squared here, because y plus 1 is combined by an addition or a subtraction. So they have to go together. Y plus 1 is a quantity. It cannot be separated into a y and a plus 1. As opposed to when I have multiplication here, 2 times y, I could cross off the pieces with 8 and y squared. What I want to finish off with is just 2 examples from the section we're actually going to work on tomorrow. So if you go on to that, you'll see, let's go to number 3, which was 16p squared over 28p. And I just want to practice reducing this so we can get this one done before tomorrow. Everything's combined by multiplication, so that means I can reduce the pieces. We look to see what goes into 16 and 28, and I know 4 does off the top of my head. I don't know if it's the highest or not, but I'm going to start there. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 goes into 28 7 times. With the p's, p goes into p once, and I have 2 p's up here. I can cross off one of them, so I'd be left with a p. In the numerator, you have 4p, and in the denominator, you have a 7. Nothing else reduces, so that's your final answer. Finally, let's skip over to number 20. On number 20, we have v squared minus 5v minus 14 over v squared plus 4v plus 4. Now, like I was talking about before, you cannot cross off the v squareds right now because they are combined by addition and subtraction with other terms. So what we do instead is we factor. V squared minus 5v minus 14. Hopefully we're okay at factoring now. V squared is just a v and a v. 14, I could pick 14 and 1 or 17 and 2. I am going to pick, 7 and 2. 7 and 2 because I need to add or subtract to a negative 5. In order to get to a negative 5, I need to get a negative 7 and a positive 2. Now for this denominator. Factors of 4, remember I have v and v. Factors of 4, 2 and 2, or 4 and 1. I need to get to a positive 4 by addition or subtraction, so I'll be forced to use 2 and 2. and it has to be plus and plus to get to a positive 4 when I add, and 2 times 2 is also a positive 4. I see I have a v plus 2 common in the numerator and denominator, so finally I would be left with a v minus 7 over v plus 2. Nothing else cancels. Remember, I cannot cross off the v's because they are combined by addition or subtraction with the negative 7 or the positive 2. We will do the rest tomorrow.